Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Terri Nakamura, and I live in Seattle. A while back, I was dubbed as one of Twitter's top 75 badass women. It's a label that still makes me smile because anyone who meets me would think badass probably isn't the first word that pops into their minds. Today, we're virtually assembled to honor an extraordinary legacy, the 150th anniversary of the Association of Women in Communications. It's a celebration of our collective journey and the vibrant future we're crafting, where women are the driving force of innovation and leadership. And let's be serious, haven't women always been leading the way? This event is just another milestone on our enduring path. We're here to connect with women who are not only leading the charge, but also breaking new ground, embodying the fierce strength and dynamic spirit that unites us all. Aligned with the national AWC's mission, this gathering is a salute to a century of progress. I'm thrilled to share insights along my distinguished fellow panelists, Rachel Thompson, Tanya Scholes, Angela Silva, Terry Michael, and our moderator, Emily Taffin-Cohen, each of whom has greatly enriched our field. Again, my name is Terri Nakamura, and I'm a writer and designer. I've spent my life in marketing communications, starting at age 17 when I worked after school in the Public Information Office of the U.S. Coast Guard, where a journalist took me under his wing. He knew I was interested in art, but thought it was a choice where I might have a tough time making a living, at least initially. He gently urged me to consider channeling my creativity to graphic design. He taught me how to compose and lay out copy and crop photos, and then he gave me a chance to design my first brochure for a Coast Guard icebreaker. When it came back from the printer, I held it in my hand and I was over the moon. That was the moment that I knew this is what I wanted to do with my life. I worked my way through college and graduated from the University of Washington in 1976. After graduation, I worked for a typography company that served designers, which is what I wanted to be. I was working in a related field, but I felt like I was on the outside looking in. So I planned to start my own design business. And I did when I was 24 years old. Nakamura Design was located in the Pioneer Square area of Seattle. At the time, it was the epicenter of creativity, filled with yuppies working in advertising, photography, writing, and design. The Mad Men era had ended a few years earlier, and there were still vestiges of that culture, but it was shifting to include more women in more important roles. Actually, at that time, most of the businesses in my office building were dominated by women in communications. My story began in an era of linotype, and when the tools of the trade were as tangible as the paper we printed on. 20 years later, computers came into the picture, and many of my peers thought they would be a flash in the pan. Some even delegated this new computer stuff to their underlings. But I saw this new technology as something I wanted to learn. During my analog days, I created layout designs using markers, rapidographs, and X-Acto knives. However, I decided to buy a Mac II CI, the first of several dozen Apple computers I'd acquired throughout my career. I had to learn software like PageMaker and Photoshop 1.0 and much more. So my career has spanned an incredible evolution in the way we all communicate, kind of like going from the Stone Age to the Space Age. Social media became the new frontier, so I became a pioneer. My venture into the world of digital communication was a journey that led Business Insider to name me among the 100 most influential tech women on Twitter. This was a testament not only to my passion for technology, but also to the voices and aspirations of women who sought to leave a mark on the world as technology began to overshadow traditional businesses. My partnerships with powerhouses like the Consumer Electronics Show and Verizon Wireless were not just about promoting products, but about creating a dialogue fostering authentic connections, and getting people interested and excited about the things I felt excited about. Blogging has been my pulpit and where I shared my writing. I was already in my 50s when LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter came along, and everyone else seemed to be a lot younger. So I was self-conscious and made it a point to conceal how old I was. People say Asians don't show their age, and I counted on that to maintain the illusion that I was still in my 40s. And now people are telling me 40 is too old? I think of 40-somethings as kids. In my mid-60s, I worked as the marketing communications director for a private school. At that time, I was immersed in social media and understood how it could help businesses and organizations, but I didn't understand that there was anything beyond the surface. Then came a pivotal moment. Along with a handful of senior women in leadership at my workplace, I left my job. At a time when many might consider retiring, I returned to college in my late 60s to study digital marketing and learn about SEO, HTML and CSS, how to conduct primary and secondary research, devise content strategies, and I learned how to create pivot tables and do exponential math equations. Let me just say, I struggled to maintain my 4-point GPA, and my math cat grade killed my dream. But the whole experience was a renaissance that sparked the next act of my career. Try to imagine this. You are a petite, old, but still with it, white-haired Japanese woman. You enter a classroom surrounded by teenagers and 20-somethings. You are older than all of your professors. And because you are really there to learn, you sit in the front row of every class. You arrive early and stay afterward to talk with your professors. They're delighted to have students who are passionate about learning what they're teaching. I returned to school to decode digital marketing and to stay relevant, but also to reinvent and rediscover. It was daunting, but I believe any of us here could conquer a challenge like this. As if there wasn't enough to do, having tons of homework, group projects, and freelance work, I was approached on LinkedIn by a Georgetown University professor organizing a cohort of writers for a book writing class. The timing was terrific because in 2018, while my workplace was changing, I began to craft longer captions on Instagram, and I was surprised to see growing numbers of reactions and interactions. It was extraordinary to discover we could use a visual platform this way. My journey into the heart of Instagram revealed a simple truth. Our stories are the threads that weave together the fabric of our communities. I realized this powerful secret could shape businesses. Increased comments and interaction from longer Instagram posts were signals and much more than a pattern. They were beacons for creators to build more meaningful, engaged communities. The discovery beckoned me to a new mission, to unveil this secret to the world. But I didn't know the first thing about writing a book. So I registered for the book authoring class and again found myself with fellow writers, editors, and production people younger than my kids. The publisher led us through the process of writing a book, working with designers and marketing experts who helped us position our books in the most advantageous ways. And for those like me who didn't have thousands of dollars to drop on this pipe dream, they had everything in place to run a successful Indiegogo campaign to fund the costs associated with publishing a book and all of the tools we needed to promote it. In my case, I produced an ebook, paperback, and hardcover versions. So my book taught me the power of community and how the lines between readers, friends, and supporters are beautifully blurred in the realm of social media. My book, blogging on Instagram, engagement writing on one of the world's best social media platforms, debuted at #1 across 10 categories on Amazon. It's an invitation to content creators to delve into the art of engagement, elevate their storytelling, and weave a community of followers who aren't just an audience, but become allies and friends. This book isn't just my triumph. It's a chance for all who have something to say. It's a testament to the power of engaging content and the warmth of the community it builds. It proves that sometimes fear will stop us when we find ourselves at a crossroads. Choosing the unknown path can mean we lose our ways, but more likely it can reveal a destination that gives us a more profound sense of purpose. My journey through the digital realm has not been without pitfalls. For example, my 15-year-old @Terri Nakamura account on X has been hacked and stolen. The feeling of invasion and loss haunts me daily, and it's a reminder that as we embrace these incredible tools and platforms, we also face new risks and need to be vigilant. The support I'm receiving from social media friends and the lessons I'm learning have only fueled my resolve to continue exploring and mastering the digital landscape, including the exciting world of artificial intelligence. I'm now 71 and my close friends have retired, but I feel so inspired, so fortunate to live at this moment in time when AI is changing everything in the way we communicate. The trend is clear. Digital transformation is upon us. AI-driven strategies and the rise of social media have changed the game and redefined the playing field itself. We live in an area where our approach must be as nimble and dynamic as the platforms we leverage. I invite you to explore the AI tools as I have, with open arms and an open mind. As women communicators, we all flourish by maintaining a growth mindset. We need to continue learning, adapting, and reveling in the joy of expanding our arsenals. If you haven't dipped your toe into the waters of AI writing, editing, imaging, video, and music creation, please start. Our own Tanya Scholes hasn't just dipped her toe, she dived in head first. Watching how she interweaves AI music creation into her strategic messaging has been mind-boggling. She inspired me to try it too. I'm far from her level, but I recognize it's a powerful method of communication. Today, as we stand at the nexus of history and opportunity and celebrate this remarkable 115th anniversary, remember that communication is not just about words. It's about having the courage to express, to listen, and to evolve. As your keynote speaker, I hope to do more than simply share my story. I hope to ignite a spark of excitement and tap into the potential of our shared future. And as we marvel at the technological leaps and strides we've made, let's also remember that it's the human touch that transforms data into narrative, analytics into empathy, and connections into communities. In each human comment and shared post, there's a heartbeat. And when I've spoken of reader interaction on Instagram surpassing anything in my 15 years of blogging, it's not the numbers that astound me. It's the realization that behind every comment, like, and share, a person seeks to connect, learn, and be seen. I offer you this takeaway. In the grand tapestry of communications, every thread matters. Every woman contributes to the strength and beauty of the whole. As we explore the future amidst AI-driven strategies and social media revolutions, let's pledge to remember the pulse behind our screens and the souls within the data streams. My hope is that when you leave here today, you'll feel renewed commitment to the stories you will tell and the lives you will touch. Let's continue to write, to design, and to connect. Because in the end, the future of communications is not about platforms or technologies. It's about people, and it's about you. Our panel today reflects a shared vision and collective action. It's about understanding the impact we can make when we harness technology and apply it to creativity and community. I'm honored to participate in this celebration of empowerment and our shared journey forward. And I look forward to connecting with you in our virtual co-working spaces provided by GoBrunch and to the engaging conversations that await us. As we dive into the discussion, I invite you to embrace the emerging trends, visualize the opportunities they present, and innovate with creativity that is the hallmark of women in communications. In closing, remember that each of us carries the torch of those who came before us, and it's our duty and our privilege to ensure that its light burns even brighter for future generations. Let's continue celebrating empowerment, creating opportunities, and leading with innovation. Thank you for allowing me to share my story with you today. Let's make the next chapter of our story the most impactful yet. Thank you, Tanya.